La. Good evening, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. Who's all on this evening? Quite quiet international break, isn't it? I really need to change that. Running slightly late. I was checking out Julian Araujo's Instagram. Jesus Christ, what's going on with the picture? It's not working. It's a little bit better. Julian Araujo has posted on Instagram once again. And tonight, when we're going to be talking about right backs, Julian Araujo's posted another cryptic post. When I checked out his Instagram, let's get it up on the screen, because you're like, well, what's the friggin' post, Baz? If I can get the picture up. Why is nothing working tonight? It's there. And there is Julian Araujo's post there. Just a picture of him with in his Celtic strip with a timer. A timer. Will he be back at the club soon? Or will he be coming to the club permanently? My eyes sore. You see that? God, sit back for the camera. So Julian Araujo, let me just close that down. He is he's a Celtic right back. There's a train of thought that Julian Araujo, Celtic may purchase Julian Araujo due to the fact that there's a certain player that's going to be at the World Cup that may do a little bit better than Julian Araujo, and he's been at the club a couple of years, and he might think it's maybe time to move on. I'm going to jump into some of the comments because there was a cracker comment just come up. Negrin, pish in midfield, but scores 19 goals. Put him up front for 7 games and he'll definitely stiff at goals. Larson started in midfield, not Larson quality, but you never know. You never know. We're not talking about forwards or anything tonight. It is all going to be about right backs. Oh, his name is McNamara and he's Celtic right back. He's 40, he's turning defence into attack. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. He's the best we've ever seen. Oh, it's Jackie McNamara. You remember that song? God, that's gone way back, isn't it? The old Jackie McNamara song for him being the So who's the best right back? AJ is much better than Araujo. Araujo just looks good in this team. Oh. Who is the best right back that you've ever seen at Celtic? Now, you can go back as far as you want. You can go back to Adam Matthews. Is maybe Tony Ralston. Didi Agat who was said by Martin O'Neill that if he could finish, he'd have been a £30 million player. That is absolutely agony tonight. Got something in my head earlier. Jackie McNamara, senior, back in the day. Do you know one of the best things about when I moved over here was some of the conversations that I used to have with Jackie McNamara senior. I used to drink in the Hoops bar up in Guardamar. And it was always great talking to Jackie's dad about just about football. Do you know, not about Celtic and about, you know, his. I mean, he was more. He's a big Hibby, you know, but he still loved watching Celtic. He used to come into the pub all the time to watch Celtic. But yeah, McNamara Senior, what a player he was in his age. Danny McGrain. Danny McGrain was a fantastic right back for Celtic. Or could it be a player that joined from Dundee United, Mark Wilson? Could he be your favourite left back? Or, talking about international players, Julian Araujo, he wasn't the first to come from a foreign land to play at right back. If you remember Andreas Henkel, he also played at right back for Celtic. And a lot of people going with Danny McGrain. A lot of people going with Danny McGrain. Jackie McNamara, 1995 to 2005. Played with Peter Donnelly on that side. Jesus, this eye's getting worse. I don't know what I got in it this afternoon, but it's absolute agony. Mikael Lustig, another right back. Remember when Scott Brown went, and that's another player that came to Celtic with a checkered history of being fit. Mikael Lustig came to Celtic and everyone said, oh, he'll never last a season. But he went on to have a fantastic career at Celtic. And even Scott Brown said, you know, when Lustig came in, he's like, who's this big skinny lanky dude with long hair? And they ended up being best mates. Best mates. Alec McNair going away back to 1904 to 1925. Played 641 games for Celtic, one of the longest serving defenders at the club. And then you've obviously got Danny McGrain, who has 659 games from 1970 until 1987. He's regarded as Scotland's best ever at right back, isn't he? Celtic legend. Absolute Celtic legend. A lot of people going just sticking with Danny McGrain. Oh, talking about right backs, mate, not left back. Jeremy Frimpong. I was waiting on somebody saying Frimpong. I was waiting. Jeremy Frimpong, who came to Celtic with a. It was weird because he came to Celtic and he'd never seemed to play many games. And then, completely out of the blue, he was sold for £10 million. And you're thinking, what have we. Has the world gone mad? Jeremy Frimpong, 10 million. Do you know, we did get him at a young age. And when you think about the fact he's now a 30 odd million pound player, 35 million plus, it was just a crazy. I mean, Frimpong, he was only there, 2019, 2020, and 2021. Bonkers. Absolute bonkers, wasn't it? But anyway, let me see what other names you've got in. Danny McGrain for sure, Frimpong. Andy Lynch. Danny McGrain was world class. Don't think other right back at Celtic in history are. Lustig for his celebration. But Vidar Riseth all day long. There's a player there's a player from bygone times, Vidar Riseth. When you think about Danny McGrain, I mean, it's a big comment to say that there's not been another right back in Celtic history that's world class. I would say that Alistair Johnston's world class because he was in the he was picked for team of the World Cup in the last World Cup, if you remember. So it's maybe doing a bit of disrespect to Ali Johnston. I mean, he's never going to reach the heights of obviously what Danny McGrain did. And Danny stayed at the club for a long time. You know, I mean, even afterwards, Danny was always in the background. He was working at the club for a long time and on the coaching staff and stuff. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Let me just get some other right backs. Andy Hingle. Paul Caddis. Was he a legend, a right back? Ali McNair in 1904, 1925. Willie McStay. Nobody's mentioned Willie McStay. Mr. McStay, I called him the last time I seen him. Last time I bumped into him was down in Manchester. Manchester. There's a player that I've never even heard of. Roy Kay. Signed in 1977-78 season, signed for cover as for McGrain and Lynch. He only made 10 appearances for the club. Now, nobody has mentioned a player who started at right back for Celtic, but then moved into midfield. See if you can name the player that started at right back for Celtic and then went on to play in midfield and then ultimately managed the football club. He was a fantastic manager, kind of. But yeah, tell me the name of the player who started at right back and then moved into field in midfield for Celtic and then became Celtic manager. Dan again, article on playing with diabetes in the 1970s, revered by many top English players who had been diagnosed. And I thought it was cancer, it was career ending. John the truck driving legend. Thank you for the super chat, mate. My favourite right back was Anton Rogan. Oof. Best ever was Tommy Gemmell. Already mentioned Davy Hay. Who mentioned it? Sorry for not seeing it and not seeing all the comments. Yes, it was Davy Hay. You got it, Willie. It was Davy Hay. Davy Hay started off at right back, moved into midfield, and then ultimately went on to manage Celtic. Another great servant to the club. A few Davy Hayes coming in. Big thank you to John, the truck driving legend. Oh, Joseph Juranovic. Juranovic. That's a player that wasn't at Celtic long, wasn't he? I mean, he wanted away too quick. I mean, is he still at Union Berlin? He went to try and better his career, didn't he? And decided to go to Union Berlin. That was a strange one, that one. Strange one. Jacka McNamara was underrated. I don't think that McNamara was underrated. I think that longevity, from 95 to 2005, playing that position, you know, came to Celtic in the dark days and left during what was the beginning of the glory years. So it's interesting because Jackie McNamara's seen both sides of Celtic. He's seen obviously Celtic under Tommy Burns. He saw Celtic under John Barnes. I wonder, has he ever been asked about the John Barnes year? The John Barnes 6-month period? Because I know that he speaks a lot about the 2003 and the sort of glory days, but do you know, it'd be interesting to, sure he's spoke, and last time I seen Jackie was at Edinburgh Airport, Jackie Jr. It's a conversation that I'd like to have. Do you know, talking about the early years at Celtic, not the glory years for 2000 onward under Martin O'Neill, because everybody knows these stories. It'd be good to get his memories on the John Barnes debacle and pre Martin O'Neill. Enrico Annoni. Enrico. Oh, what a player he was. Enrico Annoni. Brilliant player. Absolutely brilliant player. Yes. Caddis was good. Yes, I did mention Caddis earlier on. He's Paul Caddis. Just never stayed at Celtic long enough, really. He was good, but he never really. Jim Craig, the Lisbon Lion, says Joseph. Mark McNally was a right back initially. Well, there you go. Lisbon Lion, Jim Craig. They're currently 9th. So much for wanting to go and play at a bigger club. Yeah, no, it's crazy, but there's so many players. Adam Matthews. Oh, and there's a player that was. Yeah, you could say Adam Matthews, but he's not a name that's going to set the heather on fire, is it? I mean, he's. Another one was Mike Galloway, Chris Morris, Tom Boyd. Nobody's mentioned Tom Boyd yet. Nobody's mentioned Tom Boyd, 1992 to 2003. Um, yeah, nobody's mentioned Tom Boyd. I know he hated the Huns. Yes, and it's fitting that we've got Julian Araujo, as pictured here, who's put on his Instagram just 2.5 hours ago. He put up that with his return to Celtic. There's also been there was chat on a site today. I'm not taking it as gospel, and it's not fact. So it was just chat on a site. Um, that there could be the possibility that Julian Araujo may want to move to Celtic permanently in the summer. Tom Boyd was initially left back. Initially, mind, yeah, he was. Boyd was mentioned earlier. I apologise for not seeing all the comments. I'm trying to look at two different screens here. Johnson has to be in the top 15. I mean, could you put Johnson's bound to be in the top 15. I mean, how do you rank players? I mean, Andreas Hingle, fantastic for Celtic. Mark Wilson came in and did a job, although he's not one that you would think, yeah, set the hell on fire. Didier Gat, 50 grand. Now that's value for money in the 2000s, wasn't it? £50,000 in 2000. Phenomenal player for when you talk about, you can say everything about the players that came through the system, and players that didn't cost a lot of money back in the day. But 50 grand is 1970s kind of cash, isn't it? Hitati, no. Oh, God, Hitati. Lustig, yes, he's already been mentioned. Jim Brogan, Davy Hay, Telfer, Andy Telfer, Hitati, Greg Taylor, he was left. He was left back. The wee Mexican came back. Alistair Johnson would be good as a right winger. Adam Ver- Adam Verco. Mr. Versatile, my arse. A gas was like Maeda with touch. Well, there's one for you. Who's the better player? Didier Gat or it has to be Dyson, doesn't it? Dyson Maeda. Jim Brogan was a solid left back. We're talking about right backs. Don't care about left backs tonight. We're talking about right backs. Danny McGrain by a country mile. I'm sure I've got pictures with me and my dad with Danny McGrain back in the day. You have to rank it on titles won, somebody said. So Craig is number one with the line. Yeah. Andy Tom. Petrov played as a right back to begin with at Celtic. God. Yeah, if we only had all of the and even John Joe Kenny, don't. I like Chris Morris as right back. A gat. Charlie Mulgrew. Nah. Johnny Hayes. Johnny Hayes was a midfielder more than a right back. Mind Twin O'Neill said if a Gat could cross a ball, yes, he said it. His exact words were, if a Gat could cross a ball, he'd be worth 30 million, and this was in the early 2000s. That put him up there with like one of the most expensive players in the world at the time. 30 million was crazy money back then. We're buying players for 6 million and competing with the English Premiership. Put that into perspective. Didier Gat went into European football against the giants of Juventus and everything at the time, and this is when Juventus were still a big team and right up there. It had not been long after that Juventus had went through that run, winning the Champions League consistently and stuff, and Martin O'Neill completely adored Didier Gat. Absolutely adored them. Andy Telfer. Ralston on trophies. He's up there. Ralston. I wonder how many That's one thing that I need to look at. You need to go through and see who's won the most trophies, don't you? Ralston on trophies won. Has he? Is Tony Ralston won? Well, he probably has, hasn't he? Because he came through the system the same time as Kieran Tierney, and he never went away. Agatha against Ajax was superb performance. Yes, he was. It was that. Calvin Miller. Ooh. Another one that got away. Another one that got away. I think mine's going from a young age would have been Danny McGrain. This is mine in years order. My favourite would have been Danny McGrain because he was Celtic legend when I was younger, and then I would probably go into Tom Boyd, Jackie McNamara, Enrico Annoni, Didier Agat. And then who would be your modern day? Who would be your modern? It's got to be Lustig, hasn't it? It's got to be Lustig for when he grabbed the copper's hat and puts the copper's hat on his head. It's got to be Lustig. Don't know. Ralston isn't a starter. Yeah, well, Ralston is shite. Ajax away. Just the space cake. Don't talk to me about Ajax away. I've got far too many memories of Ajax away over the years. God, remember we played them twice in 2 years in pre-season. Bonkers. Bonkers. Ralston couldn't get a game for Kirkcaldy MCA. Oh, oh, George Conley, not a clue on paper. Well, his name. But I sang the McNamara song right at the start of the video. So if you want to go back and watch that, it's Lustig. Yeah, it's got to be Jerry Adams. It's got to be Lustig. I mean, for modern day, I mean, is Lustig better than Araujo? Was Lustig better than your Canadian, Alistair Johnston? Oh, it's an interesting one. Ralston still plays for Scotland. Yeah, he does that, and he'll be going to the World Cup. So does that make... So, it's an interesting one. I had McGrain autograph on a pink coaster. My brother wrote it out. Looks like I had a goal threat. Yeah, I think that did Danny McGrain play left back for Celtic a lot? He was moved there for Scotland, so he could give Jardine a game. I don't think so. Not so sure. You've got to remember that Danny McGrain came through the time when not a lot of Celtic... You've got to remember the late 70s and stuff. It was very hard for Celtic players to get into the Scotland team. Do you know, there was still a period of... Well, not that it's ever went away, but there's still a big period of anti-Celtic sentiment when it came to Scotland players. And, all through the 60s and 70s, there was no pesky Catholics getting into any Scotland team. And I noticed that those pesky mob across the city have put out a statement this evening. That's all that I'm talking about it, because I think that they're total scum. Anyway, Ralston at the World Cup, dear me. I was actually looking at the World Cup games today, actually. The World Cup 2026 games, the matches. I mean, it starts on when does it start? It starts the 13th. No, it's 11th, isn't it? It's 11th. First game, Mexico, South Africa. Oof. Mexico, South Africa, 11 o'clock at night. No, 9 o'clock at night. So that'd be 8 o'clock. Yeah, it'd be 9 o'clock Spain time, 8 o'clock UK time. I might go on a total mega... I don't usually watch the World Cup as much, but I'm thinking about just going all in and doing watch-alongs like every day. Just to drive the missus mental more than anything.
Thought there was no football on in the summer. You fucking lie to me every year. There's always fucking football on in the summer.
She doesn't talk like that, but it's always good banter, isn't it? And then you got South Korea. So right at the beginning of the World Cup, the first 2 days, Celtic players could be in action. Julian Araujo, if Celtic buy him on a permanent basis, and then in South Korea, Yang, and then versus Canada, Alistair Johnston. So Celtic are going to have a big part to play in the World Cup. We've got to try and have we've got to try and have some excitement. You know. Oh dear. Speaking of mismatches at World Cups, I was watching Rab C in Italian 90 the other night. Stuff Scotland, we're in Europe. Lustig looked good in the police hat. Yes, he did that. Danny McGrain's sliding tackle was a thing of beauty. Do it, Baz. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go on a total watch along thon. But I'm not going to do the games during the night because I'm looking at the games. So you've got 8 o'clock kickoff, 8 o'clock kickoff. The Canada game, could do watch along for that. Qatar, Switzerland. I suppose it's the game of the day. And then you're talking the next ones are in the middle of the night. But then the 14th, we've got one at 7 o'clock at night. That'll be 6 o'clock UK time. Germany. That could be a good one to watch. And then the 15th of June. I ain't getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch nobody. The Spain game's on the 15th. That could be a good one. Spain versus Cape Verde. Spain, I want to throw down the gauntlet. You could do a double watch along that day, just to really piss the missus off. Spain versus Cape Verde and Belgium versus Egypt. And then the next day you've got France versus Senegal. Oof, that's a bit of a battle, is it not? Because most of the French team are from Senegal. Just saying. That'll be a grudge match and a half, won't it? Be a lot of confused fans at that game. A serious amount of French fans will be really confused because they'll be like, they're from Senegal, but they stay in France, and who do they support? They support Senegal, and then it goes on to the 17th, and it's all during the night. Anyway, that's enough of the World Cup. I'll sort that out closer to the time. Getting back to the right back. Oh, his name is McNamara. He's a Celtic back, right back. He's 40, he's turning defence into attack. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. He's the best we've ever seen. Oh, his name is McNamara. He's a Celtic back. Anyway, can I ask your thoughts on who you think will win the World Cup? Viva! I'm going to say Spain, mate. You know what I mean? I'm going to say Spain all day long. I hope it's Spain. But yeah, just to see the country go mad, because it was great. It was great at the last Euros, and they go bonkers. They go completely bonkers when they win games. And it was good as well because I seen when Morocco was doing quite well. We stayed in an area that there was quite a lot of Moroccans, and they would get in the fountain as well and block off the road and party and all the rest of it. It was good. Totally different. But as you'll be cutting about with matchsticks in your face. There's no way am I staying up to watch the ones during the night. Not a chance. The World Cup could be a spectacular if the monster Trump stays away. Yeah, let's hope he stays away. That France squad is a joke. This is the trick question, Danny, every time. It's not a trick question, we went through. Argentina, Spain, the final, I'm going. That'd be a cracker. That would be a cracker. The thing is about Spanish football is that they're really into their youth just now. Do you know, and building. That's what Scotland should have done years and years ago, but we just don't have the players to do it. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. But Argentina, Spain for the final. Brendan Gleeson played Michael Collins in the RTE version. I would prefer Argentina to win. Argentina to win? Argentina. 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 That's just to wind up the English, isn't it? I mean, I prefer Spain to win myself. I love the Euros in Spain. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, they just they take it on a different level. They don't watch football. I mean, they do have. I remember up in Alicante, they had a big, huge bit down the port, a big football zone, big fan zone for watching the football. And you know, you have something like that in Scotland, and it always ends up in fighting, doesn't it? Can Scotland do a Greece? McTominay overhead kick for the final. Yamal and Pedri are top class. Yes, they are. Maradona made me Argentina. Yes. Good old Argentina. Midnight Stars turn is all about uh, too warm to sleep. Nah, I'll not be. I mean, when you look at some of the game times, I mean, this is for me, 1 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, midnight. Brazil, Morocco, that'd be a good game, but it starts at midnight for me, and I'm like, 2 hours of football. USA, Paraguay, and come the here come the Paraguay drug dealers. Oh, the Paraguay football fans, drug dealers. And the Americans going, ice. Qatar, Switzerland, 9 o'clock. Yeah, some crazy thing. 3 o'clock in the morning. I ain't getting up to watch no football at 3 in the morning. Aren't Scotland playing at 3 in the morning? Where's the Scotland games? Midnight. Scotland. Yeah, Scotland against Morocco starts at midnight for me. Oh, that'll be a tasty game. That's a hard game for Scotland. Morocco. That's a hard game. Morocco got to the later stages. I mean, Morocco thought they were going to try and win the Euros. Brazil versus Haiti, 3 in the morning. Spain versus Saudi Arabia, 6 o'clock. Like in that. New Zealand versus Egypt, 3 o'clock in the morning. No, thank you. Argentina versus Austria. That's just going to be a gubbin for Austria, isn't it? I mean, and then France versus, to be arranged, Norway versus Senegal, 2 o'clock in the morning. Jordan versus Algeria, 5 o'clock in the morning. Portugal versus Uzbekistan. England versus Ghana. They always get easy games, don't they? They do. They always get easy games. The Simpsons predicted a Mexico-Portugal final. Ooh, I have to admit, the Scotland away top is really nice. As Adidas go, it's, I'm kind of torn between the new Spanish away top and the Scotland away top. The Spanish away top looks way. They're both made by Adidas, but the Spanish away top is complete. It's just different level stuff. What do you think of the energy lockdown that's meant to be coming? We're asked to work more from home again. That there's not going to be an energy lockdown. Oh, if they have an energy lockdown, the UK is taking the piss. Mind 98 versus Morocco. This will be worse. Yeah, exactly. The World Cup will be this year if the war continues. I don't think so. It's at 5 a.m. Yeah, the World Cup. I tell you one thing. I mean, I know a guy that's booked up to go to all the games, and I'm like, bugger that. I mean, I would have went to games in Mexico and Canada, but I think that having it's going to cost the fans a fortune. I remember my mum looked at tickets for me, and the start for the package, I think it was about 9 grand. And I'm thinking, there's no way am I going to spend 9 grand to go and watch Scotland play football and get tanked in a World Cup in America. Not a chance. Not a chance. Bugger that. Rock around the Euros. Yep. Ola from Hattie. Too much hassle. It's far too much hassle going over there. England have a good chance. Not a chance. Right, anyway, I'm not staying on for long. Right? I was only just jumping on just to do that. Celtic news wise, Julian Araujo has put the little thing on Instagram, saying looking like he may be returning to Celtic quite soon, which will be interesting. And that's about it, really. That is about it. Apart from the fact that the Zombies have put out a statement tonight, but who gives a shit? Them greeting about graffiti on the wall and stuff. Yet nothing about up to their knees in Fenian blood. I don't want to get into the whataboutery, but fuck them. Anyway, that's enough about that. Right, that is me done and dusted for this evening. Campaign to fund a statue for Lisbon Lion Jim Craig officially launched. Interesting. Celtic squad selection rumour dispelled by former striker. Who cares? Right, just jump into some of the last comments. I can't get into America, but you're probably glad. 4,000 odd euros for a ticket for the final. Bugger that. World Cup could cause us issues getting players in. It does every year. Every World Cup, I mean, and same with the Euros. You know, we managed to get Alistair Johnston in. Don't know, but Scotland won't win a single game. Small thing about the TV makes a big difference. Yeah, it does. It does that. Hatate won Scotland 0. You know that will be the scoreline, don't you? It's anyway. Thank you to all. I shall see you all in the morning. It's decent, but I'm not a fan of pink. Talking about the Scotland top. Anyway, Nicholson is a cardboard CEO. You get the last statement because he is. He's not even. He's not even. He's a cardboard cutout, and it's a fake man that we see when he walks to away grounds. Anyway, I'll see you in the morning. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world. I finish my tea.